Music has always been a part of everyday life, but the way that we access it has changed dramatically. Today, most people listen to music through streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube Music, but this was not always the case. For most of the 20th century, listening to music meant owning it. People bought vinyl records, cassette tapes, or compact discs, also known as CDs, and these physical objects became part of personal collections. When someone purchased an album, they owned a copy of that music and could listen to it whenever they wanted without relying on a platform or subscription. When someone bought an album, they owned a copy of that music permanently. Even early digital formats like MP3 files still functioned this way. Although the format had changed from physical objects to digital files, listeners still owned their own music and controlled how it was stored and played. But streaming platforms have changed this relationship. Instead of owning songs, listeners now subscribe to platforms that allow temporary access to massive music libraries. This shift has been made possible through digitisation. Digitisation refers to the process of converting media into digital data that can be stored, transmitted, and streamed online. When music becomes digital data, it no longer needs to exist as a physical object or file owned by a listener. Instead, it can be stored on remote servers and delivered instantly through internet platforms. In this way, music has moved from being a product people purchase to a service that platforms provide. Rather than owning individual songs or albums, listeners now access these music temporarily through these digital platforms. Streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music organise and distribute the digital music through subscription services. These platforms do more than simply host songs. They manage how music is accessed, how artists are promoted, and how listeners interact with content. As a result, streaming platforms have become powerful go-betweens between artists and audiences. Streaming has also changed how listeners discover music. Instead of browsing record stores or personal collections, users increasingly rely on playlist and algorithmic recommendations. These systems analyse listening data and suggest songs based on previous behaviour, and as a result, the platforms play a major role in shaping what audiences hear. Music streaming is now the dominant way people listen to music. By transforming songs into digital streams rather than owned objects, streaming platforms have reshaped how music is distributed, accessed, and discovered. In doing so, they demonstrate how digitisation and online platforms continue to reshape media in this digital age.